Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about mental health and adoption. Many of you asked for this. This is one of those videos that was voted on my YouNow live streams. If you haven't hopped over there, I'll put the link in the description. You should definitely check them out. But I'm going to offer up 5 tips on ways to better manage some of the things that can come out of being adopted. In preparing for this video, I thought that I would read research articles and figure out what the relation was with adoption to mental health. And there's a lot of information about that. But what was more interesting and more helpful to me was actually the blog posts and the articles written by those who were adopted and what they wished those in their life either knew or had done. So today I'm going to offer up 5 of those things, and hopefully if you yourself have been adopted, this helps you better process through maybe some of the things that you've struggled with and better understand your situation. And the first is explaining what adoption means and how it happened. And this is something that a lot of people wish their parents had started to do when they were really, really young, when they first adopted them. Talking about it, what adoption itself means, why the parents sought to adopt them in the process they went through. And did they come and get them? Did they pick them up at the hospital? Were they waiting for them to be born? I know this can sound very trivial to parents and family out there who are adopting children, but it's really important that they have a story to tell and they understand how it happened. And this rolls right into number 2, and that is making sense of their story. This is really a fascinating thing for me to read about because children, if you've ever been around children, they love to tell you a story. Even if it partially doesn't make sense and they jump around a lot, if you've seen a child after them having a day where they're at Disneyland or they've been out all day at the park, they want to tell you like, so then I saw the ducks and there were so many ducks, and they're so excited and they want to tell you the story, and they'll tell that story over and over and over. The cool thing about this is it's actually part of them processing through their day. Children learn and process through storytelling. And so part of what can heal those who've been adopted is making sense of their story. And that's why it kind of rolls off of number 1, because they encourage parents to tell the adoption story, to even put it in a book and read it to their child so that they understand the whole story. They can tell it to themselves, process through all that may have been going on in their head, or maybe the memories they have or don't have and they worry about. It can help them put it into a cohesive story so they can tell it to themselves and help process through it. Isn't that cool? I thought that was really cool. The third thing I want to talk about is shame, self-worth, and identity. And for those of us who have been adopted, this usually presents itself as anger or defiance. This is when children lash out. They don't want to do what you tell them to do. The interesting thing is that when we're infants, our self-worth and confidence are built by simply having someone come when we cry and having our needs met when we need them without even being able to speak. A parent comes and changes our diaper or feeds us or comes and gets us out of our crib when we've woke in the morning. All of those kind of what we call simple tasks are really important for us growing our own self-worth and our confidence. And often when adoption is part of the story, there may have been a period of time when those needs weren't met right away because we were waiting for our adoptive parents to get there, or our birth mother didn't attend to us very well. And so that is kind of why a lot of us who've been adopted struggle with self-worth and confidence. And I'll talk more about shame in a future video with Alexa, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribed. But in adults, the way that we can help heal this, so if we've been adopted and now we find ourselves as an adult struggling with our self-worth and our identity, we can look into our heritage and learn more about it and ask our adoptive parents where we're from and learning about our story, and then maybe looking into it more so that we have a better sense of who we are and where we come from. And all of these tips and tools and things I'm going to talk about are all so closely linked. And that's why that one rolls right into number 4, which is being curious and having your curiosity about your birth parents, where they're from, what's happened, be okay to talk about and okay to explore. And there are kind of 2 components to this that are important to note. The first is if you are a parent who's wanting to adopt a child, making sure that you are okay with them being curious. Children are going to want to know where their birth parents came from, where they're originally from, and it's okay to be curious. It takes nothing away from you as the adoptive parent. And I think understanding that and even expressing that and communicating that to your child is so incredibly helpful. And then for those of us who've been adopted, looking into support groups and knowing other adoptees, because having other people who've been in similar situations or at the same place we are in their process of it can be so incredibly healing. We know in the Kenyan community how helpful it is to be reminded on the daily that nothing's weird about us and that we're not alone in our experience. And the fifth and final thing I want to talk about is putting real words to an infant's experience. Now, this was one of the most fascinating things that I've read about recently. And so thank you to all of you who requested this video because I love learning more. And what I learned is that ages 0 to 3, only, and I'm going to read my notes to make sure that I don't forget anything, the sympathetic nervous system is developed enough to be regulated. What that means is that our fight, flight, and freeze response is the only thing that we can really feel and experience and regulate as an infant, 0 to 3, right? And so when we have those experiences, that fight, flight, or freeze, we feel completely dysregulated. We have no ability to self-soothe or to calm down because all we can feel is fight, flight, or freeze. And that's why moms, caretakers, whoever's gonna come to get us when we cry are so vitally important, because we're not able to self-soothe and we need other people to help make that happen. And so if we had traumatic events in our infancy, 0 to 3, right, where we had that fight, flight, or freeze response and we felt traumatized and no one came to help us soothe ourselves and we were left in this dysregulated state for a long period of time, we're going to have to be able to process through that in adulthood. And so part of that and part of processing it is putting explicit language to that experience, helping your child or you as an adult, helping yourself verbalize what you went through. This is so important because adoption is hard. For those of us who've been adopted, yes, it can be great because we're placed with a loving and wonderful family and maybe taken out of an unhealthy or unsafe environment, but we still have a lot to talk about and process through and put words to. And that's why this fifth one, I think, is the most important. Being able to put language to such a traumatic experience can be so incredibly healing. And so I would encourage any of you, if you are adopted yourself or if you're looking to adopt, please share this video. I feel there's so many misunderstandings and miscommunication out there about adoption. And at the end of the day, it's really important that we work together, that we communicate about it, that we help our children tell their story, that we help ourselves put language to what we maybe have been through. Because one of the things that kept being reiterated no matter what blog I was reading or article or even research that I was going through is that adoption is hard. And the more we talk about it and the more we put language to the experience, the better it'll be for those who've been adopted. I hope you found this video helpful. There were so many requests for this on my YouNow live stream, so make sure you give this a thumbs up if you liked the video and leave in the comments anything else that maybe I forgot or something that was helpful for you, because as always, we're a community working together, right, towards a healthy mind and a healthy body. And if you're new to my channel, click here to subscribe. And if you'd like to watch more content kind of based around this topic, click over here. And I will see you next time. Bye.